In this video, I'm sharing my experience on my very first Atlantis cruise on the 2015 Mexican Riviera cruise. Hi, I'm Doug and this is FatBoyDoug, a channel with an appetite for life. This channel is all about giving tips and advice on how you too can live a happy and fabulously gay lifestyle. So if you're new, please subscribe below. Wow, I can't believe that my very first Atlantis cruise was only 5 years ago, 2015. Kind of seems a lot longer, maybe because I've been on so many different cruises also. But I will have to say that my very first cruise was definitely the top 2 of my favorite cruises. I mean, clearly it was my very first cruise and it's such a life-changing experience. If you've been on a cruise, an Atlantis cruise before, then you know how crazy life-changing it is to be on that cruise. And I've talked all about it in my other videos. You can check out my other videos here. But in all my other videos, it was all about giving you tips and advice and giving you guidance on how to have fun on that very first cruise. But I thought I'd give you a little sneak peek as to what happened in my first cruise, what my experience was, and spoiler alert, it was the best 7 days of my life. So let's get started. I'll give you a little context of how I got onto the cruise in the first place. So I had just broken up with my ex and we had planned on going on the Atlantis cruise and I still wanted to go. So I decided to get on the cruise somehow. Of course, I still needed to find roommates. I had other friends already booked on the cruise, so I knew that I was going to have people to hang out with, so I wasn't going completely alone, but I still needed roommates. So luckily I was able to get in contact with a travel agent, Steven Krumholtz. He's been my travel agent for the Atlantis cruises ever since then. He is awesome. His travel agency, KK Travel, which I'll put a link in the description below, he books for all of the Atlantis cruises for a lot of people, so he knows what he's doing. And I told him that I was looking for roommates. I let him know what type of roommates I'm looking for. And he actually matched me up with someone that I already knew. At that point, Tommy was a friend, an acquaintance, I guess. We would see each other out at parties. I didn't know him very well, but I knew him well enough that I was comfortable going on the cruise with him. So I was super excited. He already had a roommate, Jerome, but they were willing to add on a third into the cabin. It just made it cheaper too. So I think it was a win-win for all of us. But getting on the cruise, even though I had friends that I know on the cruise and I was comfortable with Jerome and Tommy, I was still a little nervous just about being on a full ship of all gay guys. I just didn't know what to expect. But there was one thing that helped get me really comfortable, and that was on the first day. It was up on the pool deck, and it was during the goodbye where we would wave to everyone as the ship headed out. And I was just up there with Tommy and my other friends, and someone came up to me and they struck up conversation and then gave me their cruise card. I don't remember exactly what the conversation was, but I remember feeling comfortable talking to him, and I am very introverted and I don't like to talk to people. After that conversation, I just felt very at ease, and it made me feel good that someone would come up to me and introduce themselves to me, and that truly kicked off everything for me on the cruise. I felt a lot more comfortable, a lot more confident in myself, and just being myself. So I want to say thank you to that person, Nathan. We've become friends and I'm so thankful for you for coming up to me and doing that on that very first day. I don't know if I've even shared that with you before, but I'm so glad that you did that because it really helped me to open up for the rest of the cruise. So thanks, Nathan. Something else that helped me feel comfortable was the Facebook group that I belonged to prior to getting onto the ship. I don't think I've ever talked about this in my other videos, but every cruise has a Facebook group that goes with it, and it's an unofficial group. It's not put out by Atlantis, but the Facebook group helps to get people connected and get people excited for the cruise. People will post thirst trap pictures of themselves to introduce themselves. But it was a way for me to learn who was gonna be on the cruise. I was excited to meet some of these people. I created some connections with some people before getting on the cruise. So again, that helped me to get comfortable when I got on the cruise. Of course, it was still very nerve-wracking for me to introduce myself to those people that I met online. But again, because of what happened with Nathan, I was a lot more open and a lot more confident in doing so. I'm so happy that I did that. So because of that, I met my friends from Australia. And it's crazy that I have friends over in Australia that I can call friends. that we've met and gone to other parties with all around the world and other Atlantis cruises. So it's so fun to think that because of this cruise, I know people from all around the world. So aside from those people that I met online, I also met just random people that I had not had any connections with before. Everyone was so nice. It was so surprising to me that there were so many nice people. I met people of all different ages, of all different body types, of all ethnicities, and people were just comfortable being themselves. People were complimenting each other on what they were wearing, what they were doing, how they were dancing. It was such a different experience than real life outside of the ship. So to be on this ship where everyone was gay and that everyone was accepting each other, it felt like heaven just to be there and to be myself and not have to hide. People would come up to me on the dance floor and just start dancing with me, having fun. People would come up at the restaurants or at the buffets and just strike up conversation. Again, it's very hard for me to strike up conversation, but I felt more comfortable doing so. I did already learn about cruise cards from my friends at that point, so I did give out a few cruise cards, which was hard for me to do. Again, like I said, it's hard for me to strike up conversation, but having these cruise cards to do it for me really helped. That's why I encourage any new cruise goers to get cruise cards so that you can introduce yourself without having to actually say too much in the beginning. I also want to talk about the crew members on the ship. I thought that, it would be really awkward to be dancing around almost naked sometimes on the dance floor on the ship in front of the crew members who are not necessarily gay. Well, it turns out they love working on the gay cruises. Some of them have personally told me that they like working the gay cruises more than the straight cruises because we're much nicer than the straight people. And we have a lot more fun than they do. And I see it like the bartenders, people working in the restaurants, the pool staff, all of them just dancing with us. So I thought that was a really cool thing to see on my very first cruise. And I've seen it in all other gay cruises that I've been on as well. Lastly, I want to talk about all the friends that were on the cruise with me, including my roommates, Jerome and Tommy, but also Josh and Scott and Timmy and AJ, and the whole entire group of friends that I met on the cruise. They become my party friends that we all go to different parties around the nation with and on different cruises. And I'm so thankful to know them and to have them in my life. So if you're watching this, thank you so much. I love you guys. Can't wait to get on another cruise or another party with you. But really, you've all become lifelong friends. I'm so happy that you guys are in my life, and it's because of this cruise, that very first 2015 Mexican cruise, that I found you guys. So I'm gonna be forever grateful for that cruise. So for those of you who have not been on a cruise, let me know what part of what I just said really resonated with you and what you're excited to experience on your very first cruise. The 2022 January cruise is getting booked right now. It is a Caribbean cruise. So it's gonna be a ship of like 6,000 other gay men on the cruise. I've been on 2 of the big cruises before, one of them being the one where I got engaged on, which I will be making a video about soon. But tell me, are you gonna be booked on the 2022 cruise? And if you're thinking about doing so, I would recommend going through Stephen Krumholtz's K-Gay Travel. Again, the link is in the description below. Also, if you haven't already, make sure to join our Facebook group, the Gay Rave and Circuit Almanac, where we talk about raves and circuit parties and Atlantis cruises when they're happening. So come join the group. The link is in the description below. And as always, make sure to click right here to subscribe to my channel and click the bell notification so you'll know when the next videos come up. And also check out my other videos here and here. More videos coming soon. I'll see you soon. Bye.